We will have time to say Father's Day in advance, but right now, if there's children in the room, earmuffs, people. Lord Buckley, I don't know if you're joking or...
That is amazing. Mark, you're my hero.
By the way, notice Mark is not smiling. I think I detect genuine rage right now.
Is there a problem here? Is some sort of a problem, Viva, in Los Angeles that I should be aware of?
Can I ask you a serious question? That's absolutely a real shotgun.
What's that?
That's a real shotgun. Uh-oh. Lord Buckley, can you hear me?
Yeah, it's bouncing back. I'm getting a double feed on the audio.
You might need earbuds, but also...
I have earbuds. I'm wearing earbuds.
Maybe, do you have two windows open?
Hold on. I'm wearing the earbuds. Let me get rid of one of the feeds. I think we're okay.
Okay, good. Lord Buckley, that's a real shotgun.
Of course it is. What am I, in the prop business here? What are you, insane?
Well,
real shotgun. No, I'm in the movie prop business. Viva.
Well, but now we know that even props are still real guns, Lord Buckley.
No, this is a Mossberg. It's not. This is a police special. I mean, you have to take evasive action here at any moment's notice. This is riot season.
Dude, first of all, you sent me a ton of stuff. I've got all the links set up here.
Cool.
May I ask what the fuck is going on, Lord? You're looking out your window and you're seeing stuff?
Well, it's not out my window, but it's fairly close. I mean, I live in East Hollywood, which is East LA. I mean, so most of the activity is in East LA because of the federal building, because of the courthouses. In this particular riot scenario, if you have any particular questions, you can ask me. But in generally speaking, they have sent in the National Guard, which does absolutely nothing because they are protecting federal property. Those National Guard are not really involved in any of the things that happened yesterday because they are just have been directed to protect federal property.
Okay. Now, actually, I presume everybody already knows who you are, but in case they don't, at Lord Buckley on Twitter, Mark Groubert. We don't need to get into all your credentials, but
the credentials that might matter in this case is that I've lived in LA for 30 years. I've been a reporter for the LA Weekly, as an investigative reporter for the LA Weekly. I've worked at local newspapers here. I've been a media figure on the scene here locally for 30 years. And I know this city very well. I know politicians very well. I have sources here very well. So that's one area of my life, but it may apply to this particular episode.
Now, the press vest that you're wearing, is that a stab proof or is that a bulletproof?
Definitely stab proof. Definitely bulletproof.
Okay.
Double barrel action on that.
That's so wild. First of all, okay. Okay. So, Mark, you're in the belly of the beast right now. Can you, before we even get into the clips that you've sent me, what the hell is going on? I've got a bunch of questions. We're going to go, a bunch of stories.
Well, when you say what the hell's going on, I mean, that's a kind of a general question. I mean, the reality of it is we've had riots here as long as I've lived here. I mean, going back to Rodney King, I mean, this is not new because Trump is president. We've had riots in Republican administrations, Democratic administrations, no administrations, riots over the Lakers winning, riots over the Dodgers losing, riots because Mel Torme, the Velvet Fog, did not appear at the concert one night. I mean, it's just a panoply of reasons to riot here. The fact of the matter is they are understaffed with police. The police are ordered to not interfere. It is a dance that both sides do that are both quite used to the dance. Let me put it that way. We have a zero lawsuit policy. In other words, this has evolved over 20 years, but anyone who sues the LAPD for excessive force in one of these protests, the city of LA has voted to pay the person out without a trial. Think about that as a lawyer, Viva. If you lived in a city where you can be hired for any single case of police misconduct against your client, and it's an automatic, no trial, automatic payout. It's just a subject of negotiation as to how much you're going to get as an attorney. So you have that situation there. You have an understaffed LAPD. You've got about 8,000 LAPD officers. It's normally 10,000, which is about 10,000 under what it should be. And then you've got about 9,000 sheriff's department and various California Highway Patrol who come and go depending upon the situation. So the situation where they're sending in the National Guard, they sent in 200 National Guard, but that's merely to surround and protect federal owned buildings. So that is not, they're not involved in the run and gun operations that we're talking about and seeing on the videos yesterday. Now, that being said, just to anticipate your questions, I think I can jump pretty far ahead. These people are super organized. I call them, as I said to Robert, they're called Lantifa. It's a combination of Raza and Antifa. This is not the white Antifa from up in Portland and Seattle. This is a spinoff, and I don't mean that officially, but I mean this is a spinoff of La Raza utilizing Antifa tactics. Not that they're an official chartered member of Antifa, but I'm calling it Lantifa because this is not white kids doing this. This is Central American and Mexican flags being flown here. This is a Mexican pushback against this, revolting against the pushback of the federal government to decipher and to take out the criminal element in Los Angeles. Now, Los Angeles has, if it was a city, if the LA illegal community was a city, and it would be the 7th largest city in the United States, 7th after Philadelphia, which is 1.6 million people. The LA illegal alien community within the city is estimated, and the low estimate is 1.5 million illegal aliens, Viva. That would put it as the 7th largest city in the United States of America. And that means services, that means food, that means Medi-Cal, that means free everything for an additional city within your city. I don't think people really understand LA and how it works, and it's important to understand it. I know people say, go fuck yourselves, but it is one of the largest cities in the country, and also part of the largest state in the country.
Well, and people talk about the homeless population, which I think is like 140,000, 150,000.
I'm not even counting them.
No, I know. And then people say that's massive. That's a small town. That's bigger than, well, it's not big, Quebec City. This is 1.5 million. I brought up your graphic to show the relative size. Like San Antonio, San Diego, Dallas, Texas, Austin, Texas, lower populations than the illegal immigrants.
Right. Yeah. People don't get the size of this thing.
I want to bring this one up just because it'll be the intro joke to the rest of this. When you can't decipher satire from reality, and someone says, why does this shit happen under Donald Trump's watch, both terms? And this person could have been a MAGA Republican illustrating the fact that the lefty nutbags wait and riot when Trump is in power because that's what they do. Or it's just an absolute dense lefty who doesn't understand that it's the modus operandi of the left.
But it's simply not a true statement. I mean, like I just said in the opening statements, they have rioted during every single Democratic administration and every single Republican administration. This has absolutely nothing to do with Donald Trump. This guy doesn't know Los Angeles history.
My takeaway, but my point to that was that, the summer of love happened because they are angry at the political results. And so they burn shit down. They do it again now. There's two angles to go with that. I was told by the LAPD PIO that it was peaceful and they thanked the protesters for remaining peaceful. And yet this guy also on the left saying, why does this always happen? Why, if it's peaceful, okay. So you have a population of 1.5 million illegals. You have Karen Bass coming out, the mayor. It's an amazing thing also. What's the population of LA? Like 10
3.8 million. The county's 10 million, but I think it's 3.8 for the city.
So you have a state you have a state that's the size of Canada population wise.
Yeah.
You have the general the broader area, which is the population of a third of Canada, and LA itself, it's half of the entire province.
Well, not only that, you have a city within a city is what I'm trying to imply here with this illegal community. It is literally an entire city within a city. With no boundaries. And, they could cry and make all these, personal storylines, which they do every time policy changes, they go personal. When personal changes, they go towards policy. And I mean that as a propaganda tool. So they'll show you the woman who, works 3 jobs, who's been illegal for 10 years, and she's indoctrinated into the community with her children. Okay, they're completely illegal aliens. I get it. But what about the grandfather who lives in Seoul, South Korea, who's been waiting 10 years to come to Koreatown to see his grandchildren, who are now 10 years old, because he's been doing it by the book, applying to get visas to visit the United States, to visit his grandchildren who he doesn't have the ability, nor the wherewithal, nor the desire to break federal law and fly to Mexico City and drive in through the southern border. What about all the normal people who have been doing this by the book, Viva? Nobody ever interviews them. And the second point of contention, and you'd like this as a lawyer, is simply dropping the word allegedly from your client being an alleged murderer. And the reason I mention that is because what they do is conflate the word immigration with illegal immigration. They never delineate, and that's intentional. They always say we're in, a city of immigrants. This is an immigration issue. It is not. It is an illegal immigration issue. They refuse, and the media refuses. If this was a black suspect in a murder and someone didn't say alleged murder suspect, they would go batshit fucking crazy. The reality of it is they allow them to say immigrants instead of illegal immigrants. That has to be stopped. There are immigrants who are totally has nothing to do with anything about this issue.
Well, I mean, they're calling them undocumented citizens, Mark. I mean, that's part and parcel of the battle as well.
Right. When you drill down as to who they are, they will say undocumented citizens, or in the terms of homeless, are unhoused neighbors. That's a Marxist device to change the lexicon. But I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about Karen Bass coming out with statements today saying this is a city of immigrants and this can't continue. Well, it's also a city within a city of illegal immigrants.
Well, let me play this one, because there's a part of this that's just magnificently astonishing in terms of a public admission that people don't pick up.
I just have to say that, again, our city has been through a lot since the beginning of the year.
Because of you.
Because this idiot didn't have water in the fire hydrants. They don't take care of the forest industry properly. And so, yeah, they've been through a lot because of her negligence, and now they're understaffed in terms of police and not enforcing the law because activism.
Thinking that there is a large percentage of our city that is terrified, that is not going to know if they go to sleep tonight, and they go to work or they go to school. Will that be the last day they do that? Will that be the last day they see their family?
I'll pause it there because the rest is irrelevant.
Yeah, it's totally irrelevant because
a large portion of the city.
Go ahead.
Yeah, a large portion of the city that she's now admitting publicly are illegal aliens. Because if illegal, you don't worry about getting deported.
Right, that's what I'm saying. If you're in fear of getting deported, good. You should be in fear.
And then what she's admitting now is they've created a problem so huge that it's inhumane to solve it.
Yes,
and this was the plan all along.
In fact, these riot dances with the LAPD have been so well choreographed over the years that what they're really complaining about is Trump throwing a monkey wrench into their phony riot dance. I'll just give you an example, because you guys were talking about this yesterday, about these pallets of bricks that Barnes was talking about being brought in. There are pallets of bricks all through downtown because of construction projects. What you guys don't understand is the Lantifa will come with one backpack on their back. This is all trained out. They will come with a backpack on their back. What is in that backpack? One cinder block is in the backpack of each person coming to the protest riot. They then will take their hammers and break each cinder block into throwable rocks. But I want to give you the physics on how this works. They will sometimes just smash it through the bag or take out the cinder block and smash it. But everyone has one cinder block. There's no need to bring in pallets of bricks like may have been done during George Floyd. I'm not really sure about that. There's plenty of pallets of bricks all around downtown Los Angeles for failed or ongoing construction projects. But I just want to give you the flavor of how they do this.
And because I brought up the Soros bricks, not to affirm it, because that was my question. I had seen reports like about the what are they called? Those cinder blocks yesterday. And then another person said, no, that's outside of a Home Depot. The pallets sit around, they get left there. And they're useful.
There are plenty of them around. There's plenty of them around. What I'm talking about is a specific thing. When you see those guys with ball peen hammers chopping up the curb, they are trained to do that in their training seminars. Each guy has a different role. Each guy has a different part in this thing. This is, part of Antifa, but it's also part of La Raza. Part of what I'm describing, the single cinder block phenomenon, is for, at a minimum to come with the one cinder block, because you can't even carry two, it's too heavy. But you'll see what they're doing at the LAPD headquarters last night, taking their skateboards and smashing the windows without any response from LAPD. They're not allowed to respond. What Karen Bass was doing last night, and I urged Harmeet Dillon to seize her cell phone, seize her communication. She deleted all of them after the fires, and the LA Times is suing her to retrieve the deleted emails from and text messages from her phones. She's willing to take that political and legal hit to prevent authorities from legally, which you have to do for 2 years. You have to maintain the communications for up to 2 years as a politician in LA. She immediately deleted both. She's going to do the same thing with what happened the other night. She was on the phone with her hand-picked drunken chief of police, Jim McDonnell, telling him to, and running the operation, telling him to stand down. While federal officers were being assaulted, LAPD was ordered to stand down until late in the night when they were finally relieved to show up.
I want to do this in real time so that nobody thinks that there's any doubt. Berger Bass under fire for deleted messages during LA wildfires. Los Angeles County Supervisor Catherine Berger is facing growing scrutiny over her deletion of text messages during the devastating January wildfires, joining Mayor Karen Bass in drawing criticism for record-keeping practices during a critical public emergency. We can go on after that.
But they're actually being sued by the LA Times. What? And I believe that Harmeet Dillon and the feds have a right to physically seize these phones and before they're deleted. And you will see Karen Bass acting as a military general, ordering the LAPD what, where, and when to do. And I have said this for many years. You have to make it illegal for mayors, big city mayors, to handpick their own chief of police, thereby giving them an entire army, Viva.
I presume, I'll double check this as we talk, that there's already existing laws on deleting official records, not preserving them.
Yes.
And so has Karen, at least in the context of the LA wildfires, has she admitted or denied or offered an explanation as to why she admits it?
There's absolutely no explanation. In fact, that's why the LA Times is suing her. She just said she deleted stuff that was of no importance. Okay. That was her explanation. Okay. She said she deleted stuff of no importance.
Okay, that's a load of crap. All right.
Yeah.
Then we were bringing this back to. I wanted to bring up the talk about potentially arresting Gavin Newsom.
Yeah.
We talk about insurrection as a joke in respect of January 6th because calling that an insurrection is a joke.
Right.
This really starting to smell like the actual legal criteria of an insurrection, especially with the denials of the law enforcement that are no longer maintainable denials. LAPD, want to thank our peaceful protesters, and then we have. You sent me so much. I can't even.
Well, you can any way you want. You can run whatever you want. The shot of the California Highway Patrol SUVs. This one here. This is underneath. This is the 101 for people who don't know. This is right before you get downtown on the 101. Every single protest that has occurred in LA, they allow the protesters to get on the 101, which is the main thoroughfare from northern United States all the way, as far as it goes. They allow them to come down the ramps onto the 101 and stop all traffic, backing it all the way up to Sacramento.
It's for people who don't understand this, who've never been to LA.
The physics of it.
This is the artery. This is the artery through LA.
Right. So when they come down the ramps, the LAPD tries to stop them. They put up a feeble attempt of trying to stop them. Then they get onto the 101 and they block traffic for 700 miles up the California coast, all the way backing it up, all the way to Oregon. Okay, that's their move. Everybody knows that move. What happened here was they allowed them to take over the overpasses instead of simply putting a cop in a car at the end of the overpass on either side. They abandoned that overpass and each overpass going all the way back. But this is the one which is downtown. that allowed them to take these giant chunks of boulders and drop them onto the California Highway Patrol SUVs, destroying them and injuring them. You'll see the cops underneath there cowering, rightfully so, underneath the overpass. There's thousands of people over that overpass dropping large sledges of brick and blocks from the road onto the cars below, and then later setting them on fire. The point of the matter was, any military person would seize the high ground, would have common sense. Any Marine, if there was a Marine commandant running this thing at a Camp Pendleton, which is what Hegseth is hinting is going to happen, they would immediately seize that overpass. Immediately seize that overpass so this couldn't happen. LAPD did none of that. That's not LAPD by down below. That's California Highway Patrol and LAPD, by the way. And they allow them to get onto the freeway and block the entire thing. And then they begin this slow dance of nicely pushing them back, Viva.
Let me bring up the Gavin Newsom business here. I'll bring up his video after. But Trump gives blunt response to Newsom daring Homan to arrest him. I would. This is what you call the wink, wink, nudge, nudge. And if you're talking about a dance, this is Trump saying enough is enough. You're like begging for action from the DOJ. Now he's begging Homan to do it. President calls Newsom grossly incompetent amid LA chaos. President Donald Trump suggested he would be willing to arrest California Governor Gavin Newsom if his administration obstructs ICE operations amid riots in Los Angeles on Monday. Trump made the statement in a brief exchange. He's daring Tom Homan to come arrest him. Should he do it? Ducey asked. I would do it if I were Tom. Trump responded.
Yeah, but he's not Tom.
Well, Gavin likes the publicity, but I do think it would be a great thing. He's done a terrible job. Just bring this back here also, by the way. And I'll bring up another clip of...
Well, keep in mind that he controls the California Highway Patrol. Karen Bass controls the LAPD and indirectly controls the Sheriff's Department because they installed this guy, Luna, who is a lapdog to her, and they had Villanueva, who was a Trump guy, as the head of the sheriff's elected, is what I'm saying, Viva. The LAPD chief is handpicked by her. So she's literally, between the two of them, controlling like a 30,000-man army within LA. That has been thrown a monkey wrench into it by Donald Trump by simply throwing in 200 National Guardsmen who are not really involved in the battle.
Wild. Let me bring this one up.
Go ahead.
If anybody's doubting, whether or not there's any, whether or not it's a tyrannical abuse for Trump to threaten this, listen to Gavin Newsom talking here. Let me make sure the audio is not too high. I hate his voice. I hate his face. I think he's an actual, he's the embodiment of a human demon. Listen to this.
The fear, the horror. The hell is this guy? Come after me, arrest me. Let's just get it over with.
Okay. All right.
I don't give a damn, but I care about my community. I care about this community. The hell are they doing? These guys need to grow up. They need to stop. And we need to push back. And I'm sorry to be so clear, but that kind of bloviating is exhausting. So, Tom, arrest me.
Do you know what? Does everybody understand what bloviating means? Like, people don't understand what bloviating is. Someone talking a whole lot of shit and doing nothing.
Right.
Gavin Newsom, what he did in that 30 seconds is bloviating. Come and arrest me. I dare you. That's bloviating. They should come in and arrest him. Because what he's basically saying right there, this community. What community is that? Are you, as governor, in the face of these riots, actively interfering with...
Okay, so let me just explain their defensive policy. Their defensive policy is to allow people to vent and destroy. I'm not even making this up. Their defensive policy is to do this dance with them, allow them to destroy property, which they have said they don't care about, and allow the people to vent over fill-in-the-blank episode. Lakers win championship, destroy property, vent. Lakers lose championship, destroy property, vent. Trump does this, destroy property, vent. It doesn't matter what the cause is. This is the first time they have ever responded to a riot. You got to understand something. Normally, there's no response. Normally, it's turned over to LAPD. They put out the mostly peaceful statement that you rightfully put up. There's never a response from Gavin Newsom during regular riot season. The only reason they're responding now is Trump has thrown a medical and a military monkey wrench into their dance of death. That's why they're freaking out. Now you've got someone who's in a boxing ring with you. They didn't predict that. The model does not allow for the president of the United States to come in here and dance in the ring with Gavin Newsom. That's not their model.
No, and at this point, if they're basically saying it's a state protecting illegal aliens, defying federal authority and federal enforcement of federal law,
Yeah.
how is that not an insurrection by the definition of insurrection under the law? Is my question. It's not a question of retaliation. It's not a question of saying,
Well, I've said for years they should have previously taken the idea, the concept of sanctuary cities, sanctuary states to the United States Supreme Court and rectified this entire thing years ago. Just because I say that you can have slavery in Oregon today doesn't make it a slave state. That's essentially what they're doing. This is George Wallace standing in the door of the University of Alabama. Well, the Kennedys decided we're going to send down federal marshals, and that allowed these students to go into the school. I mean, Eisenhower did the same thing with General Walker in Little Rock. I mean, just because you say it so does not make it so in terms of state versus federal law, Viva.
I've never, look, call me a Canadian schnook. I've never understood it ever. I mean, I understand in Canada, they don't enforce federal law on native reserves, or I shouldn't say they don't enforce it, but there's a bit of a nuance in terms of enforceability, because RCMP doesn't get to go on native land because it's sort of not under federal jurisdiction.
Right.
But not, and there was a time when they tried to do it, and it ended up with the Oka crisis and a standoff, and a police officer got shot. But this is not like tribal.
No, this is some group sitting around smoking weed that came up with this idea of a sanctuary city. It's not a legal term. It has no gravitas. You're not a Canadian schnook. This is a situation where clearly federal law trumps some law that not even a law, it's a concept they came up with.
Well, I'm trying to think of an analogy.
Like, what is sanctuary cities? What? It's a special place you can't go in? I mean, it has no meaning.
I just want to see. I want to look up what is federal murder. So federal murder is the unlawful killing of a human being without yada yada yada. It applies to murders committed on federal property, like military bases, against federal officials or whatever. Okay, imagine if there was a federal murder and someone was in a sanctuary city, and they say, we're not going to let the feds come in and arrest them. It's as stupid and as baseless.
Yeah, they're just cherry picking the law that their sanctuary. They could expand this. Keep in mind, they could say it's drug use. They could expand it to heroin use. They can expand it to psychedelics. They can expand this to any law they don't like by the federal government. If this continues, why stop at illegal alien law? Why stop at immigration? Why not expand sanctuary cities? Create an entire separate society if you want. I mean, where does it end?
I think it ends with, I say this is the most critical one, because when you don't enforce immigration law and provide sanctuary cities, you change the demographics of the country, you change the representation in the House through counting illegals.
Everybody knows the game. The point is, the entire legacy of Donald Trump rides on what's going to happen in the next 2 weeks here in Los Angeles. His entire immigration policy, there be it, his entire legacy, if they get him to back down by rioting and looting, the victory dance will be massive. They will do it in every city in the country. I just got word from my New York police intelligence connections in New York. They are fearing the same thing happening to New York if it's successful here. If they're able to pull this off in LA, they're all going to recreate the model in other major cities. This is going to make or break the Trump administration by what they do here in the next 2 weeks.
As far as you know from your sources, the people participating in it, is it like, I know you said it's not the typical Antifa. It's not right. It's not the white liberals.
No, it's a Latin La Raza people. Now, keep in mind, La Raza is taught in the schools from the second they're in first grade. This is Cesar Chavez, La Raza, Mexican owns California. This is taught to them from grade 1. Illegal or legal, whatever you are, if you're a Latino here in LA, this is part of the public school system of indoctrination into the Californication. If you want to read Victor Davis Hanson's book, which I highly recommend, about how this happened, you may want to look at that. But the reality of it is, this is part of the La Raza movement, a far left socialist movement that's come and forced out of Central America and Mexico because of failed policies there. They've established a beachhead here. They're waving Mexican flags. They interviewed a girl yesterday saying, "Why are you waving a Mexican flag?" She said, I completely support the country of Mexico. And they said, are you willing to live there? And she said, are you fucking crazy? So you have this insane thing. When our relatives came here, Viva and my relatives came here from Poland and Russia, they did not bring Polish and Russian flags and wave them. They burned everything from behind and kissed the ground when they got here. This is La Raza, social justice. He's on it right here. Read that La Raza definition.
Yep, this is the La Raza movement refers to a collection of social and political movements, particularly during the 60s and 70s, that advocated for the rights and empowerment of Mexican Americans and the Chicano community in the United States. It encompassed various aspects, including cultural, nationalism, political activism, and community organizing. Let's see here, political act. The La Raza, meaning the people or the race, became a rallying cry for the distinct Chicano identity, emphasizing shared cultural heritage and commitment to fighting against institutional. This sounds like Marxism, but
it is. It's Marxism with a Latin spin. Yeah, it's also their version of BLM. So it's got all those elements.
Social justice here. The La Raza movement addresses issues of social inequity, economic hardship, and police brutality, advocating for improved educational opportunities, fairly yada. So it's got some noble undertones.
Right, but this is a specific Southwest movement that is the center of it is in Los Angeles. It operates out of Phoenix. It operates out of the Southwest. It is a completely indoctrinated movement here for many years. And this is what he's up against. I mean, these people are not all illegal aliens and criminals. If you look at the crowd yesterday, a lot of students, a lot of young kids at the age of 9, 10, 11 out there throwing bricks.
And their enablers, who are the commie Marxist Karen Basses of the world.
Well, again, here's a woman who met with Fidel Castro 7 or 8 times. She was involved in gun running down to Fidel's Cuba. She is an avowed Marxist. She was in an election which counted for over a month until Rick Caruso, who didn't bother to oversee the counting. He was boxed out by the communist registrar of Los Angeles from overseeing the counting of the votes. Rick Caruso ran for mayor against Karen Bass. He went to bed with a lead, Viva. Does this sound familiar? And a month later, he lost the mayor's race to Karen Bass.
We're going to get into some of the clips. Let me just pull up one thing here and then a second thing afterwards. Biltong is in the house. There's a specific message for you after this one, Mark. King of Biltong, premium Angus and Wagyu Biltong from Biltong, USA. High protein, no additives, authentic handcrafted meat snack, naturally air dried and delicious. Go to biltongusa.com. Use code Viva for 10% off. This is not a sponsor. This is just Anton has his own channel.
Wow.
He's awesome. He says, Viva, can I send Mark some Biltong? He seems like a great guy, and I think he would enjoy.
What is Biltong? What is it like?
It's beef jerky, but it's sort of
you could say it. Sure. Don't put my address here, but I mean,
no. Okay. We'll arrange for it after.
Yeah, okay, absolutely. It's all I need. I got enough problems here.
So is that a how many rounds does that shotgun? Oh no, you know
this one holds. This is a police. This is a Mark,
don't answer. I don't know what's legal in California. I'm not getting you in trouble.
It's not a question of legality, but I mean, it's just a question of 7 rounds.
They might have some crazy laws in California. I would love to see Governor Hair Gel in a cell. We've suffered long enough. And this is Mark's normal game attire. Game day. Right. By the way, Mark.
Go Giants. Padres tonight versus the Dodgers down in San Diego, by the way.
Next time you're in Florida, we're going to a ball game because my kid has gotten into baseball card collecting.
You know why? Because he's a heterosexual young American boy. And you are stunned that I gave him that ball and glove, and you were like looking like, where is this going to lead? It's only going to be good, Viva.
Well, no, what's amazing is he loves the baseball cards. I was like, if you're going to get into this, now we have to follow the rookie cards.
Absolutely. You got to collect all the rookie cards.
You got all the rookies.
The kid knows more than you.
It's a damn shame. I didn't know this when I was a kid, but I'm collecting the UFC cards and I'm collecting.
Oh, that's all right. That's okay.
Okay, let's go through some of the clips that you sent me, Mark, because they're flipping beautiful. In terms
roll it, Floyd. Roll them.
We won't play all of them because there's too many and they're too long. But you're going to tell us what's going on here contextually.
Yeah, this is the skateboard division of Lantifa. They've been assigned to break the windows at LAPD headquarters. Now, this is not a public library, which you think, okay, this is the actual headquarters of the LA Police Department. This is what they're doing last night. No response. No response.
But
all night.
I guess they're wearing glasses.
Yeah, they wear goggles.
My nightmare is to either get glass in my eye or to inhale a piece of glass.
Well, they have they have gloves to avoid the shards and also wearing goggles. You're right.
Mike Benz posted this. You sent it to me. Here are rioters smashing the windows of the LAPD headquarters one day after the LAPD called them peaceful protesters. And that's the statement from the LAPD.
Right. The point of the matter is they know the lay of the terrain. These are not random. They divvy up the city and they go to work as professionals. This is not random violence, and it's obviously not peaceful protest. They are really savvy about how the highways work, how the streets work. Every nook and cranny of this city, they know it like the back of their hands.
So people want to say, like, they're Soros bricks, but maybe it's not quite that simple. But this is Soros. These are NGO activist organizations. Like, these people have some sort of. Is there a money trail to follow that leads back to Soros? And if so,
well, I don't know, but you could literally go on Craigslist and see them, the ads for them to be hired with different weekly rates. They don't reveal in the Craigslist ads where their source of the money is. That would be retarded. But there are ads in LA Craigslist each week for protest for money, looking for strong guys, rough guys, big guys. You could take that for what it's worth. It doesn't say where it comes from. But somebody's paying them, and it's not listed in the ad.
Let me, now that we've got, first of all, we just got raided, and I don't know who raided us, but thank you for the raid. And we're also featured on the front page now, so we've got a big audience, and I don't do this often enough, but go now, follow Lord Buckley. This is Mark Groubert at Lord Buckley. If you're watching on the landing page, click on it and go subscribe to Viva Frei. Snip any, just don't violate, don't post the entire stream, but clip segments. I'm saying clip this, and share it and put it on blast. Encrypt this in the chat, agentguru_IO on Twitter. Encrypt this, what's up?
The raid was by me. I raided you from my Gray Shara live stream.
Well, thank you very much, Encryptus.
Well, as a moment of plugging for 2 seconds, Viva has agreed to come on my new channel on the 25th of June. We're going to go Wednesdays at 6 o'clock with all my different friends. Coming on the channel one-on-one. This is separate from my work with Eric on America's Untold Stories. This is a new channel called What's Up with Lord Buckley, where we're going to cover a lot of pop culture and political stuff. And Viva's agreed to come on.
Absolutely.
You'll see a lot of other familiar friends over the next couple of months coming on there.
Is it What's Up or What's Up?
Yes, What's Up. Yeah, WASSUP. With Lord Buckley with a question mark on YouTube, not on Rumble yet. Wouldn't mind being on Rumble, but I've had the channel for a while, haven't done anything live, but because of the forces of nature torturing me, I'm being forced to go live on Wednesday with Steve Gibb, an old friend who is the son of Barry Gibb of the Bee Gees, and he's going to tell you incredible stories of Michael Jackson being his babysitter growing up in Florida. So.
Are these rated R stories?
No. There's there's some Mambo Mouth with Leguizamo that I produced in New York, 1991, where we won the Obie Award for that, and me with Emerald Robinson. There's a bunch of random different interviews at this time, but we're going to go live on Wednesday, and then Viva, we're going to have him on, Hunley on, hopefully Barnes, one-on-one interviews with the person. I'm going to actually interview Viva. So I'm doing my job as an interviewer. We're going to find out how Viva got this way, his youth, how he ran away from home one time, and he lived in the woods in Saskatchewan looking for Bigfoot in 1989. I mean, we're going to dig deep on Viva next Wednesday, the 25th.
Like I say, my thought process as a kid makes a whole hell of a lot more sense knowing what I know about brain functioning as an adult. We'll get into it. Okay, so hold on. So that all shameless plugs. Everybody plug it all, subscribe, and you know what to do. Louis the Lobster returns to the sea on Amazon. Let me bring up some more videos.
That's funny.
Yeah, I got to write the sequel to it because.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
Okay, so now we're looking at C3. We got to give everybody the credit here.
Yeah, this is the looting that begins. Again, they were saying there was no looting last night because they go to bed at like 9 o'clock. But this is the looting that began downtown last night.
I'll put the volume all the way low. So there's a number of different actors, many of whom are just not interconnected. I would imagine the looters are just opportunistic. We see the opportunity. We have nothing to do with La Raza. Let's go get some free stuff.
Well, they're all interconnected. The point of the matter is the downtown area, which is where the riots took place last night, these are retail stores downtown LA. This is separate from West LA, separate from Santa Monica, separate from all the way out there. The reason they're looting there is because the protests were there, because that's where the House of Detention is and the federal building.
And as I say, they're not related. I just saw the Mexican flag right about.
Yeah, no, it's the same people. Okay. It's the same people.
Amazing. And so this is all going on as
That's, I think, a famous Foot Locker store, and there's also a T-Mobile store right next door. This is around Spring and Temple and First Street, the epicenter of this thing.
All right, we got SC.
Oh yeah, the Nike and Adidas stores, right?
Yeah. So let's just
go ahead. Yeah.
Wait.
The dude's doing the takeover things look scary.
I mean, this is why
I think they're looting that. Oh yeah, I think they're trying to get into that.
Oh, there you go. Look at this.
Oh yeah, they are. They're breaking into this T-Mobile right here.
This is lawlessness. This is not an accident.
Unmolested, no police, no anything.
They just got in.
Okay, close that down.
Well, what they do is they declare an area after it's over. They come in a wedge, in a mass wedge, declare an area a ban from anyone being there. But that's after the damage is done. That is intentional. That is their game. This is how it rolls out here. And the problem is all of those kids know the game. They all know they're not going to get shot. They can't get beaten. They can't get manhandled. They can't be tasered. Think about it from their point of view. Nothing can happen except a one-on-one takedown and being taken off the playing field and then released in the morning. That's the worst case scenario.
It's by design. I mean, what do we got here? I hope you're sitting down, but the looting phase of Los Angeles riots that Gavin Newsom wants you to believe is happening. This is from Kevin Dalton. I know this guy. I tried fixing the system by working with the system. Now I'm doing it my way.
I think we just saw this, so maybe we could move on to the next one.
It's so loud. It's so loud.
Yeah, go ahead. It's a little different.
Okay, so looting. We got looting. Okay, we understand. Right. This is going on while they tell us peaceful protest. But
right, absolutely. But I'm saying a lot of this happens a little later at night. They're not going to do this at 3 in the afternoon. Now, this is the overpass that they're trapped under on the 101 down in Alameda Street.
I mean, it's like, I don't wish it. There's no fear hiding a wish. It's just not a reasonable response to use lethal force.
Right.
These people would be, they wouldn't mind if a brick killed one of these cops, and you wouldn't be able to pinpoint whoever did it.
Of course, absolutely. In fact, they're just shooting tear gas. One of the cops is going to get hit with a giant chunk of concrete in a second. They're shooting tear gas and rubber bullets. They've been sued for using rubber bullets. This has now gone so far as to not be able to even defend themselves.
Jesus Christ, right there.
Oh, he gets hit. Yeah, he goes down. Wait,
sorry, I keep missing it.
That guy right there would knocked his helmet off right there. He's picking up his helmet.
Oh, they think it's
he got hit in the head. Yeah.
And by the way,
what I'm saying is this should never have been allowed. This overpass, and they know
everyone there should be arrested. Kettle them off and arrest each.
Right. They refuse intentionally because they're following the mayor's office's micromanagement of the riots.
And also just everybody, like, getting hit on the head with a helmet, you still get a concussion under there.
No. He knocked his helmet off.
Like, even with the helmet, it's not a magical barrier. It transfers the concussive force. It's just less lethal. Let's just see what happens when we play this remote. This is wild. Just CTE for the rest of his life. Chronic, what is it called? Chronic traumatic encephalitis. Yeah. So who are these officers right now?
These are California Highway Patrol officers from the state, and they control 101 because it is a state highway. So anything that happens on 101 is controlled by the California Highway Patrol.
Okay, so they're under Gavin Newsom's jurisdiction.
Yes, absolutely, yes.
And then who is under Karen Bass's jurisdiction?
The LAPD, and then the Sheriff's Department is in theory independent because he's elected. The Sheriff Luna is an elected official. So in theory, he can do what he wants.
Wild. This is coming from Andy No, who we all know. Antifa and Mexican nationalist rioters in Los Angeles used a stolen refrigerator as a makeshift shield against federal law enforcement in Compton. The rioters are part of an insurrection against the government.
He's right. Now, keep in mind, they have Roman candles and rockets themselves, the protesters. So and flashbangs. They chuck M80s and some stronger fireworks at the police all the time. These are all them doing this.
What's amazing is in Canada we cannot legally buy M80s. We can get pretty powerful fireworks, but not stuff that's available here.
All smuggled up from Mexico, by the way.
But M80s, whatever it is, M90s, those blow people's heads off. You always read about an accident.
It's an eighth of a stick of dynamite, I think.
It looks fun if it's just from a weekend activity perspective, in terms of if you do this for fun, like they had paintball.
Look, they're not waving the flag of Poland. There's one country we keep seeing the flag of, and that's Mexico. How much more information do we need? I mean, what else? I'm supposed to take out ads on TV? I mean, this is an insurrection by illegal aliens or invaders or people from another country. I don't care if you lived here 3 weeks or 3 years. What difference does it make? Doesn't matter how long you've been here illegally. The fact is you're waving your battle flag there.
Groubert, let me see. We got a couple more.
Look, I love tacos as much as the next guy, but this has gone too far, Viva. Go ahead.
I'm not even a fan. I'm not
a question
with Brendan. And hold on, I hear Encryptus. What's up?
Yeah, I have a question. So, if they're showing this flag, if they're fighting, wouldn't that be legally an invasion and allow the military to actually take control?
I think so, and apparently the Hegseth thinks so, and apparently the Trump administration thinks so. I don't think you need the flag to do that, but I mean, the flag literally is saying, "Come and get me! I dare you! I'm from Mexico. I'm here with my army. It could be a guerrilla army. They're not wearing uniforms, but what difference does it make?"
Here, let's just say, well, not that they deserve to set themselves on fire, but
this is wonderful. This will show you how to do it. A step-by-step anarchist cookbook on how to blow a car. Watch this. This is how you do it. This is peaceful protest, by the way.
They're so stupid because the vapors of that gas, if it ignites right there, you go. Okay. Oh shit! I didn't know that the vapors are actually explosive, but the gas is flammable.
Let me tell you what they were doing with the Whimo cars yesterday. They kept ordering the Whimo cars by cell phone, and Whimo cars kept showing up on purpose because they ordered them to come to that location. And one by one, they torched them until Whimo, and I was on Twitter saying it, Whimo headquarters, which is owned by Google, finally cut off a transmission to come to that area digitally and electronically, but they were ordering cars to their death.
Mark, I don't think many people know what Whimo are. Self-driving cars.
Self-driving cars, they're huge out here now. They've been driving around with no driver for a couple of years, and there's tons of them in LA. The brilliant Lantifa strategy was to simply order them to come down to the protest where they torched them.
It's literally the scene out of the End of the World There movie that Barack Obama.
No, it's like the Joker. It should look like the scene at the end of the Joker.
What was the one the End of the World movie where the Teslas or the automated cars were driving themselves?
Oh, that's the one Obama produced.
Yeah, what's the name of that movie?
Oh, I forgot.
It's literally
Day After Tomorrow or something tomorrow.
It's literally what we saw. They're just ordering the cars drive to their demise. Holy hell! What I love.
But those noxious fumes. The LAPD put out a press release saying you're inhaling noxious black smoke from the batteries, and they were just posing for hours and hours and hours doing remotes from the tops of those cars that were on fire.
Holy hell. But by the way, just so everybody understands out there, gas in liquid form is flammable. The vapors are explosive. That's what people do. You douse a bonfire with gasoline, the liquid will burn. The vapors are what explodes, and that's why you see it go. And you learn.
Right. Speaking of gas, their tear gas is ineffective because they're wearing masks and goggles and hats. Now, Trump yesterday said, "I am going to make it illegal to wear a mask at a protest." Good luck with that, enforcing that law, because I don't know how that works with half the people wearing COVID masks anyway. But it's ineffective for LAPD to use tear gas on these people.
And here's the last one. Mark, you can come over to Locals for a little after party?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. And then this one is what? This is Paul. Oh, dude on a scooter tries to ride into LAPD during the anti-ICE riots. It doesn't end well for him. Okay, the crowd goes bananas. Hold on, I kind of want to see what happens. I've seen this already. It's quite funny in a sick way.
Well, if you see the people, see the top of the screen?
Yep.
This is like something out of Gladiator, because thousands and thousands of people are up above, and that ramp is occupied, and the other side is occupied. The northern lane. This is the southern lane of the 101. You're looking at a Gladiator type crowd up above of thousands of people that have taken the ramp. Once you get that ramp, then you are easily onto the access. And they know this. Instead of taking a car and blocking the ramp or using barricades, they are allowing them, every single riot, to get down to this battlefield.
It's 6 lanes of highways, 6 lanes of highway that are off, and I don't understand how they have the balls to come out and say it's peaceful and it's outrageous. Let me see. We got to raid the extravaganza. Who's up there?
Before you do that, there is a tip relevant to the conversation before we hit that.
Oh, I'll do that. Well, yeah, that's right. The raid cuts it off. So, okay, I'll read the remaining tipped questions, which are, hold on one second. Let me bring my screen back up here. Boopsy says, can we bet that local news there in California is controlled by Newsom and the people don't know the worst scenes unless...
Yeah, I can address that. What they do is they show these non-scenes going on local news, and they go out for their stand-up at 8 o'clock at night when the show is on. They do a live stand-up, or the 11 o'clock news or the 10 o'clock news locally, and they go to a place. Sometimes they show some footage, but everybody just waits till that's over. And then the looting begins and the real activities happen. If you wait till 11 o'clock, the local news is over, and you can do what you want.
So what's keeping Hegseth and Bondi from arresting Luna for treason would be the wrong word, but something, sedition or whatever, or aiding an insurrection from dereliction of duty, aside from not being able to reach him?
No, just balls, just having balls. I mean, it's really, you could do what you want. If he wins, he wins. If you take in, which I recommended, if you take down the chief of police and the head of the sheriff's department and say, we're going to charge you with obstructing felony federal law being utilized here, flip them. Make them flip and turn on Bass. What is so difficult about this? These guys are literally the sock puppets of the mayor. Make them flip. Charge them. I mean, this is DOJ 101, Viva.
I don't disagree. Mr. Mike says, Lord Buckley, Pentagon to deploy 700 Marines to Los Angeles, officials say. We got an article from Reuters, but from what you're explaining, if it's to defend or...
Yeah, they're going to defend federal entities. This is at a Camp Pendleton down in San Diego. They're going to send up 700 Marines who are going to surround the federal building in West L.A. They're going to defend this building here in downtown L.A. They're not going to engage in hand-to-hand combat with these protesters. And, they're going to stand in there and protect the building. So we'll see where that goes. But I mean, Homan says, or even Karen Bass said she said she spoke to Tom Homan yesterday, and the reporter asked her at the press conference, what did he say? She said, he said nothing. He just listened to me. I'm going like, oh, lady, please give me a break. Tom Homan is like a kind of an extroverted guy. But the reality of it is the raids, according to both sides, are supposed to go on for at least the next 2 weeks here in LA. And if they pull the plug on that Trump is going to really lose a lot of gravitas in terms of his immigration policy. If he folds the cards now and does not double and triple down, they will celebrate this as a Marxist victory in their Marxist city, which they have taken a number of years ago.
Amazing. We are going to bring the party over to vivabarneslaw.locals.com, take some Q&As directly. The locals link, let me put this here for everybody. Then Mark, I don't know what the gun laws are. Like in Canada, you can't have a shotgun with more than 5 rounds in it, but I don't know if that's the same in LA.
No, it's not.
Okay, good. Come to vivabarneslaw.locals.com. What a beautiful place that is, actually. And if you're not, we're going to raid Extravaganza, who is now, if I'm not mistaken, on the front page of Rumble. They are. When you get to Extravaganza, let them know from whence you came and drop some Viva Raid in the chat. Encryptus, are we good to go? And we're going to have some fun on the local side of things. Lord Buckley on YouTube, on Twitter, at Lord Buckley. It's what's up with
Yeah,
Lord.
the new YouTube channel is What's Up with Lord Buckley, and then of course America's Untold Stories Tuesday and Friday with Eric Hunley.
Which is wildly amazing. You'll get smarter, almost as smart as watching a Sunday night show with Stephen Barnes.
And that's a lot of Kennedy stuff, which will remain there with our news on Friday. And then on my channel, I'm going to start doing some personal interviews of friends and people deep dive into show business, into the weeds of show business. Viva,
let's roll. And I'm not coming to LA anytime soon. So you're here. We're going to go to a ball game.
Yeah,
and a UFC fight. Let's do. I've never
done that. I've never been to a UFC.
I was at an amateur fight once upon a time. Okay, we're talking.
Oh yeah, we'll talk about it on Locals. Yes.
Everybody who's not coming, have an good afternoon to see you
tomorrow. We just roll over? Is there a mission, or we just keep going?
No, we're good. That's it.
It's just 30 seconds. So
no, 30 seconds now for anyone who's on Locals and not yet a member.
Oh, I see. That's it. So a ticking clock to get your shit together.
Yeah, well, that's it. If you haven't subscribed, what are you waiting for? Okay, let's get the QA. Get any question for Groubert in there. Tag me so that I see.
I'll answer anything I can. I mean, I'll just tell you what I know of LA, being a reporter here for so many years.
Let's see what we got here. We got something from Liz Wheeler, which says, "Who's funding the anti-ICE riots in Los Angeles?" With Liz Wheeler. I'll have her back on. She's also an amazing journalist.
I think it's look. These, like Mike Benz has pointed out, it's a trickle down effect from multiple NGOs that have money or are still receiving money. If you listen to Mike,
Mark, if I get yeeted from the stream, it's only because I seem to have been logged out of my Rumble account.
Because of crimes against humanity, or what happened?
I don't know what's going to happen in studio. Just because I wanted to go to the chat here, but I have to re-log in, so maybe I'm going to get in trouble. Ooh, look at this. So, see, I can't even talk about our childhood yet. Maybe when we're live, but this is looks like a Smith & Wesson, if I had to guess.
Oh, yeah. It looks like a Dirty Harry machine right there.
Oh, that is a Smith & Wesson. Look at that. See, I don't know nothing. I just don't know very much.
That's okay. I mean, you got to start somewhere. I mean,
the one with the long barrel is called the 40 Special or something?
Well, it's a 44 Magnum is what Harry used.
But there's one that has a longer barrel than that. The barrel would go like to here. A Saturday Night Special. Was that?
No, Saturday Night Special is kind of like a knockoff piece of shit little handgun.
I know nothing.
No, it's okay. It doesn't matter. There's plenty of gun people who are going to educate you. I'm not one of them, but there's plenty of gun nuts in America.
Joe Maskew says, "I grew up in LA, and this is 100% a matter of outsiders helping to stage these riots." So after,
well, I don't think it's 100%. I disagree with that. There's definitely enough people here to get involved. I mean, all kinds of different people I know went down there.
So I mean, there's a real practical concern that if Trump comes in and actually deports, even if it's starting with the criminals, the illegals, it's a massive, massive portion of the population of LA.
Yeah, I mean, if he's doing 3,000 a day, let's say he did 3,000 a day, which he's doing nationally, 1 million takes like 10 years. I mean, think about that.
Up.
I mean, is that how long you want to take? Even if you did 3,000 a day in LA, that 1 million that's here would take 10 years, which I'm quite happy to sign up for if that's your program. But it's right now, without self-deportation, without any of the other boobamices going on, 3,000 a day would add up to about 1 million in 10 years.
I'm not even going to ask Siri. I'm just going to forget that. I'm not double checking that. That is 3,000. Yeah, 3,000. That's 30,000 in 10, 300,000 in 100. So you're not even at. You're at 1 million in a year. Okay, that's
yeah.
Holy sweet. Okay, hold on.
But there may be 20 million nationally, is what I'm saying. You got 1.5 million here. Think about the national effect.
I'm thinking about what the hell is this?
Ooh, that's sweet. Look at that thing. Holy crap.
Does this qualify as...
I believe that would be an M249.
That's
right on, bro. Right on.
Gun.
Wow. That's a beautiful weapon.
You see, I'm not... Okay.
That is so cute. I mean, it's so compact.
If and when I become an American citizen, I could also probably get into this.
Siri, get me one of those after the show, Siri.
Okay, let's get this out of here.
I can't get that because of the laws in California. I'm so sorry.
200 rounds in the ball sack, 200 more linked. You started deporting at that rate, though. Many will self-deport, says Humperdew.
No, I'm not counting that. Yeah, I'm not counting the self-deportation, but I don't know what rate. I'm just going by the rate of what they're publicizing today.
Marines are from 29 Palms. What is that? 29 Palms is...
There's Marines in 29 Palms, which is out by Coachella, out in the desert. Yeah, but there's also tons of Marines in Camp Pendleton down in San Diego. So they could be coming from two different directions. I don't know. A lot of the training for tank warfare with the Army, whoever's using tanks, happens in Camp Pendleton. But there is a Marine base at 29 Palms.
ML Money says, I'd like to start a fundraiser to send Mark a truck so he can keep his stuff safe and ready to move out when necessary.
Yeah, I mean, I do have a side minivan loaded to go. So it's you're not wrong there. I do have a separate operation ready to go.
It is wild. I mean, so there's these areas where there's the peaceful protests. The rest, you can still walk around normally. It's not like
it's just the smell. When you go outside, you smell smoke of the burning cars and everything else, which is
so those Waymo, or what are they called?
Waymo.
Those are electric vehicles.
They're electric vehicles with lithium batteries that LAPD said is quite deadly to inhale the smoke from. And you saw that black toxic smoke in some of the footage yesterday. They had 5 burning at once with all these knuckleheads dancing around taking selfies in front of them.
Holy crap apples. 29 Palms. I know that I was there because I drove by Coachella. It was on the way to Joshua Tree, if I'm not mistaken.
It's right across the road. Not across the road. I mean, it's right down the road from Joshua Tree National. Joshua Tree National Park is what.
And we stayed in some place called Desert Hot Springs.
Oh yeah, I've been there. I love Desert Hot Springs.
Yeah, it
used to have actual hot springs in the ground. But these commercial hotels have built their hotels over the hot springs.
Yeah. So it's they chlorinated the spring water. I'm like, what the hell's the point of going into a spring water?
The California Board of Health made them do it.
Oh my God. Well, okay. That city, Mark, it kind of felt like Breaking Bad driving into it. And
yes. That's where it was filmed. That's why it felt like it.
Oh, I didn't.
That's where they filmed it.
I didn't actually know that. But there was a part where they had the fence around the hot springs, and it was like, don't leave the fence at night. And we went for a drive into the base of the mountains. It was with Ethan, and it was beautiful. Let me see what's going on here because we got questions coming in. They will. Okay, no. Let's see here. I wish I had my 1911 here. I don't know what that is. Bringing this up. All right. Okay. So, when are the next round of elections, and does it even matter? It's not going to matter. They're going to use this for their clout among.
So let me just explain the election format here, because next June of 28 will be in June. Sorry, I take that back. June of 26 will be a mayor's election here in Los Angeles. Nobody's announced. She's announced that she's going to run again. So you've got a Democratic stronghold. So whoever wins she'll remain as mayor unless somebody can knock her off in June. Newsom is termed out. So in November of 28 or June of 28, there will be an election for governor. Now, there's a whole lot of people who've announced, but they're all small fries. The only major name, I'll just give you the names. There's a sheriff out from San Bernardino who's a Republican. You got Steve Hilton, who's a Republican, who's a bald-headed British guy, doesn't have a chance of even getting any votes at all. Used to be on Fox. And then you've got the 600-pound gorilla, which is Kamala Harris, who is playing this game of waiting until the last minute to declare, again, to avoid, in my humble opinion, any media scrutiny. And I think she will put her foot into the race at the last minute, and I believe she will win the race. Her only closest contender is Antonio Villagrosa, who used to be the mayor of Los Angeles. But he is considered to be a political loser, a former gang member, formerly known as Antonio Villar, took the other portion of his name from his ex-wife in a settlement deal, making him Villagrosa, her name being Agrosa and him being Villar. Explain that to me. I have no idea. Anyway, he created a last name, went to UCLA, former gang member, and became the mayor of LA a couple of mayors ago. And now he's running for governor, but he runs for everything and doesn't win. But I believe that
Kamala's going to win. I mean, you predicted it.
I've been predicting this since the election. Absolutely.
Let me go see if there's a.
She has nowhere to go politically. I mean, Nixon did the same thing. Nixon ran for governor. Nixon was vice president. Nixon ran for president. Nixon eventually ran for president again and won. He was a senator, just like Kamala Harris. It's the exact same California Nixon portfolio that Richard Nixon followed.
Hold on a second. Who will be the next governor of California?
I believe Kamala Harris.
She's not even on.
Right, she hasn't declared yet because she doesn't want media scrutiny by guys like you.
Yeah, but they don't have to. They don't have to declare it for there to be a market.
No, but there's a legal cutoff date, is what I'm saying. That legal cutoff date is about 1.5 years from now. So she's going to dance around doing things for 1.5 years until she's forced on the 11th hour to declare that she will run.
Yeah, I'm not. That's a long. Okay, that's years. Okay, fine.
Okay, yeah.
No, I understand. It's phenomenally fascinating, actually.
Yeah, no, it's 1 year away, the sign-up date, and she will sign up on the last day.
Did I read this one? Roosting. Mark, what do you think of the job Pam Bondi, Bongino, Cash Patel are doing? Is there any hope for them to be more than just interviews on Fox News?
Oh, you guys were covering this pretty well yesterday in the past week. I've been saying the same thing to you and on our channel with Eric, and she is, she's a deep stater. Dan Bongino said he stares at the walls of his office, his 4 walls every day, because he's getting divorced from his wife. And Cash Patel smoking cigars, wearing Zelensky's T-shirt with Joe Rogan the other day was surreal. I don't know what was going on. He could not stop inhaling through his nose, sniffing through his nose. Do you want to explain that to me? Why a man... let's say you've got a runny nose. He's got a runny nose and he's snorting the entire interview while talking about cocaine as part of the story, cocaine that they found in the White House, how he's reopening that investigation. And yet, why can't a man blow his nose? Why couldn't he just blow his nose? I don't understand why he can't blow his nose.
I thought maybe
giving him the benefit of the doubt, which nobody in the Rogan comment section was rightfully willing to do. If you look at Rogan's comments, everyone was saying he was coked out of his mind.
I'm trying to think if I've seen a long enough interview. He did not do it with Bartiromo, so it can't be like
I've seen it before with him too.
Well, I'm just wondering if it's a tick, like he might have a Tourette.
It could very well be, but you got to say something.
How do you ask that question? I thought it was a Tourette-ish tick, not a.
It may very well be, but is everyone in this administration on the spectrum? I mean, Bongino looks so stressed out. It looks like his blood pressure is 500, like his head's going to blow off his neck.
First of all, he didn't the staring at the walls, getting divorced? That was the Bartiromo interview, right? Where he
said, I go into my office and I stare at the 4 walls all day because I'm getting divorced. And then he said separated from my wife, and I'm going like, why do I need to know this?
Well, he was saying he meant he is separate, like he's physically distant.
Yeah,
separated, but I didn't know. To me, Bongino looks like he's a fighter who's had his arms tied behind his back, and he's not allowed to do what he wants to do.
Well, that's just speculation.
It is pure speculation.
That's pure speculation.
Yeah, no, that's mine. It's mine only.
Right. I mean, like Robert said, and I've said, the proof's in the pudding. It's been 6 months. There's no indictments, no grand juries, no arrests, no trials. How long do we wait? A year? Should I wait 2 years? Like I said, Merrick Garland hit the ground running, arresting people as soon as he was sworn in. I mean, what is it? Are we supposed to believe that Pam Bondi is not Bill Barr, that she's not Jeff Sessions? I don't have the luxury of giving them that leeway.
No, just wait.
I'm sorry.
Ask these questions after 4 years, and if they haven't done squat, well,
what do you do then?
Lord Buckley, my question to you from Jonah 100. How do you swagger with such big journalist balls?
Oh, I've just been doing it a long time. It's not big journalist balls. I've been doing it a long time.
Gaetan says, I'm from Canada, Province du Québec. Is it legal for me to talk about guns? No, and the cops are showing up. So, Gaetan, I'm joking, but jokes aside, haha. I'm going to go back bottom up here. Did Mark see Rick Caruso saying there is no emergency widespread or to control violence in Los Angeles and absolutely no danger that justifies deployment of the National Guard? It's an Orwellian lie. It's an Orwellian lie.
No, I did see Rick Caruso, and I actually texted him, said, I voted for you. It's never happening again in my life. Fool me once, shame on me. He wants cheap illegal labor because he's a contractor. Uh-huh. He builds shopping malls here. He builds homes here. He showed what side of this argument he's on. He literally wants illegal aliens. And I get it. That's your take on it. That's what you want as a businessman. But don't ask me to vote for you as a Republican, that you just left the Republican Party and switched to the Democratic Party to vote for you again. I'm not going to make that mistake again.
I want to go get that tweet in a second. The other question was, Sorry, what about Larry Elder? Is he not interested in running anymore?
No, he's not. He said it was stacked too much against him, cost too much money, life's too short. I don't blame Larry at all. He's done enough good in this area of LA. I mean, he's from LA. He is AKA the sage of South Central. He does his radio show every day out here. Larry has done more than enough public service than to run for LA mayor.
And Roostang says mass raw sewage leaking from Mexico into San Diego and affecting everyone from those on the shore to the Navy SEALs in training who are getting sick from it. Didn't Governor Newsom order the sewage diverting pumps shut off? I have never heard.
I don't know what Newsom did, but the storyline is correct. I don't know what he did to avert it or prevent it, but the actual intro to that is true.
Holy crap, pun intended. Let me see what else is going on. So, Lord Buckley, you are my hero. Boom, you remind me of the Corbo brothers in CLE during the BLM anti-fuck riots. Sawed off bitches, says Jay Land. When are you next scheduled to come down to the free state of Florida?
Probably, well, we have probably in December, Christmas time.
Oh, that's too far away.
Yeah, no, I'm going to New York, and then we got to go to Dallas for the JFK conference, November 22nd. If you people want to see a massive conference on JFK, I'd highly recommend the Lanza conference, which is the oldest JFK conference in the country. We'll be presenting a show there with Robert Groden, the grandfather of the Zapruder film. And we're going to go over some films and stuff I can't do on YouTube for copyright violations.
What is it? Is it going to be the 61st year now? We got past.
I think it's 61. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. The last year was a big one. Amazing.
Oh no, maybe it's 62. I'm sorry. Last year was an off year. We were there 2 years ago for the big one, and last year was 61. This may be 62.
Okay, Finboy Slick. I'm not bringing that. Even if this is the after party, I'm not bringing up that tipped question, which has a meme of the. I'm not even sure I can say it without even getting canceled. Not doing it. Let me see. Hold on.
No, that's you.
Oh, it's okay. Okay, sorry.
Can't you say anything on locals?
You just jumped to the worst conclusion.
Well,
without even looking, it's your face.
Well, first of all, I've already brought up the bacon one without reading it through. So obviously, I don't read them before I come. Kamala might be the 600-pound gorilla, but there's only one. But here's the 150-pound gorilla. Okay, fine. It's a meme. Okay, I thought it was something else. I've been once bitten, twice shy. This is me on the gorilla.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Right, gorilla. Viva gorillas in the mist.
Roseanne Barr got canceled for less, and it says, "Okay, there we go. That's me." All right, man. Mark, it's amazing, and we should. Well, let's do a follow up by the end of the week and see what the hell goes.
Yeah, do a follow up if you want, and then I'll see you on the 25th on my channel. Which is a Wednesday at 6:00, Viva.
Okay, just
will you be done with your thing?
Oh yeah, I'll be done in time, and maybe okay. I'll be done in time I'll bring everybody over.
You're gonna bring all your friends with you. Honey, Viva's bringing over all his friends. You better make some more hamburgers.
I'm gonna do that, but remind me because I'm a senile buffoon. We have something this Wednesday. I think it's Russians with Attitude. If I'm not.
Oh yeah, what is that?
It's a good channel. We're gonna do a sidebar at 7:00 and talk about what's going on in Russia.
Putin's going to do something. I mean, the reason I'll just tell you this: the reason they took out those long-range bombers is because the British took them out because they can reach the UK. The reason those bombers were sitting there the entire war is you don't need them to fight a war in your backyard. So the people who took out those long-range bombers are linked to the UK because it's a threat to them, not to Zelensky, Viva.
And this is a way of trying to take out the nuclear capabilities so that maybe they can escalate with NATO.
Yes, absolutely.
Fucking lunatics.
No, the British are brilliant. Their Russophobia knows no bounds.
Yeah, but it's stupid because I presume they don't need the bombers in order to hit them with nukes if they've got nukes and submarines.
Well, I mean, it's also a statement that, we can hit your bombers, and those bombers are for Western Europe. That's what they exist for.
Barnes' understanding, and this is where I learned it from, is that he said they had to be visible to satellite images as a result of some nuclear agreement that they had. Yeah. And
you can't. What do you hide a bomber? I mean, he's got a bunch of them. What are you gonna do? Put them inside of an attic? I mean, they got to be somewhere.
Put some trees, or some.
Yeah, you could do that.
Okay, so we got that. And my last question to you is: this escalates obviously before the end of the week.
Has to.
Okay.
Has to. They will not let this war go. I mean, I don't understand how Trump's going to get out of this, because the EU, specifically France, Germany, and the UK, want this to continue. And Zelensky's obviously their puppet. You know, they're running the show now, replacing the Biden administration from running the show. But they are not going to sue for peace. They're just not. They believe if they stay with this long enough that they can defeat Russia. As crazy as that sounds, they are mineral bankrupt. They have no resources. They have nothing that they industrially produce. Their idea is they are in a death rattle as a society, unless in their minds they take down and take the natural resources of Russia. This is not because they're having a bad day. They have analyzed this 7 ways to Sunday and have come to the insane conclusion that they can't survive as a society without the natural resources of Russia in their control. Mm-hmm. And they may be right.
And the other double entendre, escalation in Los Angeles as well before the end of the week.
Yeah, I mean, this is probably going to be a weekend warrior riot thing, which is a tradition here. So it will begin next Friday again. There'll be sporadic incidents during the week, but they are now planning behind closed doors to come up with another game plan for Friday.
And they're just hoping one of the protesters dies. It's just not one of them, so they can use it as fodder against.
Well, that's a sidebar thing. They're really hoping that it's not a price that Trump wants to pay to have this going on. Mm-hmm. And they may be right. I don't know if Trump's going to buckle or not.
We're going to find out. 45 Raptor throws 300 grain at 2,300 feet per second on an AR-10 chassis. Now, this, I happen to know all of those words.
Wow, that's beautiful.
I
watched, it matches my hat. I got to get that to match my hat.
I watch Kentucky Ballistics, so I know a bit of the stuff down. Look at, you see, I imagine the kickback on that is enough to break your freaking nose if you're not holding.
Well, you got to use 2 hands, I think.
That looks like a woman's hand, so that maybe it's a little, maybe not as big as it. That looks freaking huge. Dude, yeah, I'm going to start the second channel is either going to be, I'm thinking of rebranding the Viva clips, because I'm just not using.
Oh, that's interesting.
Do, I don't know, baseball cards and freaking UFC cards and maybe gun stuff at one point.
That's interesting.
Yeah, but I can't do that on YouTube. No, guys, I got the Viva clips. I just don't use it, and I don't know what to do with it. But like, I don't want people to look at me like one of those like pathetic losers.
I don't have the time. I mean, that's why I delayed this thing for so long. I don't really have the time, but I do want to do one show a week on Wednesday at that time.
One show a week that's easy enough to maintain.
Yeah. But I mean, the deep dives that I do for our channel take months. I mean, I just have to read so many books.
No, and then you shoot the content. Then, like, even once you do the 1 hour a show, then you want to snip and clip, and then that takes up days on end.
Yeah, it's too much time. I have to, be in the middle of a riot covering it. I don't have time for this.
Okay. All right. So we're going to end. Let's end this up, Mark. We'll talk for a bit afterwards. Bear in mind, Mark, before when I end, there's 30 seconds afterwards where it's still streamed. So don't.
Is that true? Okay.
I don't know why.
All right. I'm ready.
Locals, I will see you tomorrow. We'll be live. It might be 3:00 tomorrow. We're tinkering things out, so I'll figure it out. I'm going to text the team at Rumble and double check with the missus that 3:00 would be a good time. Mark, thank you as always. Amazing people. Peace.